Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. Last week, Alabama, which we know is a forward-thinking, progressive state full of liberals, banned IVF, in vitro fertilization. So on the one hand, if you are pregnant and there's a problem with the pregnancy, or it's simply not going to work for you, well, you can't get rid of that. But apparently, if you want to start a family, we can't do that either. This attack on women's reproductive health, and this is the thing, it's not just reproductive health. This is about women's ability to have bodily autonomy. This is about women's ability to succeed and flourish in the workforce. This is about women being treated as equals in a employment situation. This is all the things that go into, no, you must have a baby. Oh, no, you can't do that. It's like these Republicans are literally living in the Stone Ages. It's annoying and it's frustrating. And frankly, if you're in the United States, it's probably scary. So, and while I'm ranting, last week, a court in Texas ruled that the school had the right to let boys or restrict boys hair from growing past a certain length. Okay, so you can't just grow your hair. It has to meet whatever it is their new criteria is. And that's like stupid enough. But what gives it a real stinky smell is the fact that this whole thing started with a black boy who was told that his hair was too long. It's like they're so desperate. They're clinging and attacking anything. They're clinging to the past and attacking anything that in any way impacts their version of what they want America to look like. I mean, it's ridiculous. Mike Johnson he had some sort of a caucus meeting or something, and people were and this is his own party with the GOP. People were horrified because they said it wasn't a meeting. It was like a sermon. And he was talking about, he brought God into it and like, enough. I want to take a look. I want to take an overview of women's health, women's reproductive health in the United States, and see if we can figure out where this is going. Because where it is aiming for is really scary and pathetic. Apparently, one of the women, said that as far as she was concerned, embryos were children. Like they don't even seem to be capable of understanding basic science. An embryo is an embryo. Until the embryo and the sperm have a party, there's no baby. There's no child. And it's just nuts. Sorry, that's not wrong. That's wrong. Until the embryo is implanted and it catches and it can start growing. Somewhere, around, what is it? I think it's 28 weeks, 29, when might be a little earlier than that, when a child could be born and survive. I mean, that's sort of to me a child. And sometimes if there is a reason, like the mom's health, sometimes even that has to be um, viewed in terms of saving the one who is alive. I'm just fit to be tied. I probably shouldn't do this right now because I'm really testy about it. And I live in Canada. And frankly, uh, I'm not having no babies anytime soon. That ship sailed quite a while ago. Here we go. Let's take a look at the overall situation with women's reproductive health in the United States. Here we go. U.S. policy reproductive health, U.S. policy reproductive health, U.S. policy reproductive health. And in some ways, it's like they know the writing's on the wall, right? They know that their time and power, their ability to manipulate and change the laws to reflect whatever crazy draconian belief they have in their head. They understand that that's coming to an end, and so they are like shoving everything out there that they can possibly get out, and creating laws around it so that it just becomes this legal quagmire in order to, correct this and rebalance it. So don't be surprised if other states follow suit, because it only seems to take one, and then all the other red states just go, oh, we can do that? Great. We're going to do it here. Here we go. All right. Starting with the Two of Pentacles. So now normally the Two of Pentacles is sort of about, juggling your resources, right? About making what you have work for you. But in this case, it's talking about a complete imbalance of the resources. If you live in some places, you have all kinds of protections. If you live in other places, you don't. What it is doing, it's just creating sort of like two Americas, because what is acceptable or doable in one is not in the other. So there's not there's nothing's uniform. As I said, they are literally searching for every single thing that they can find to reverse anything, honestly, that give women options. I swear, I would almost not be surprised if some person from a red state decides to question women whether women or not should have the vote. I'm not kidding. I don't think I would actually be surprised, because they are just so determined to create this, white society where everybody believes the same religion. So therefore, their abortions just can't happen because but it's not. You know what? It's not even about that. It is about men being threatened, men feeling like they need to somehow harness, corral women and put them in a place, in a position that they don't have. They lose the power that they have or have had for the last several decades. The Republicans, are going to continue to face a real uphill battle with this. Apparently, there is sort of raging going on across the United States over this IVF thing. Because it makes like no sense. But, apparently, I can't even go there. So, they are not going to find that they are as popular, that their belief, their thinking just isn't as popular as they seem to be perceiving that it is. We are going to, the community, the women, the United States, healthcare organizations are going to become very reluctant to accept any more restrictions. Now, I say that knowing that Alabama apparently closed down 2 clinics that did the in vitro as a result of this ruling. So, maybe they're not going to jump to disagree. But what you have here is you have these states making offers, doing things, and they're not being well received. And you know what? That's okay. And the reason it's okay is because it is creating a situation where people who don't pay attention, people who kind of live in their little world, are starting to really, really, really react to this stuff. And it's creating momentum. Okay. So we already knew that the abortion issue was going to be a really important issue in the coming election. They are just piling stuff on to make women angry. And many, many enlightened men. So what you have here is a situation where this thing is going to snowball so far out of control that the Republicans are not going to be able to catch this thing and rein it back in. It is just going to spiral right out of control, and they're going to be feeling like idiots and fools. And frankly, they already feel like idiots and fools because of, the way they're sucking up to Trump and doing his bidding. Interesting that, as I said earlier, that Mike Johnson got some real slapback about, turning a political meeting into a sermon and explaining to everybody that these were his beliefs and that's what he thought and that's the way it was going to be. I don't think he's long for that job. I think at some point he is going to annoy enough people that he's going to be in trouble. More and more, I feel like by time we get to, I don't know, maybe late summer, fall, that the Republicans are going to actually lose the House. I think that the Democrats may very, very well take over the House in those final few months of 2024 before the election. The Republicans are just finding ways that they think are going to help them. What they fail to understand is the strength of women, female power, female goddess energy, okay? But more, they're not understanding that everything they're doing is not expanding their base. It is catering to those white Christians who are determined that, this is how it needs to be in their country. It's not going to work out for them. They're going to find what fortunes they do have shifting and changing, and it's going to, frankly, it's going to happen kind of rapidly. Okay. Things are, as I said, spiraling out of control. It's like people are going to become so agitated and so annoyed and so angry with the kind of measures that they're taking in this individual state, that there really is going to be some blowback, and they're not going to be able to escape it. Nice. Look at these two cards sitting side by side. You have the High Priestess and Justice. Ultimately, Justice is going to come along and give women the power, the autonomy that they need. And it is going to be something that is across the land at some point. They are going to, the federal government is going to be able to step in and shift the energy, change it so that they're not able, the states are not able to go around, if you will, federal laws. And that's part of what's going on right now, right? They're trying to figure out a way to give the states more and more power so they can just actually disregard whatever the federal mandates and laws are. So I'm just going to ask Spirit, because I'm a little wound, you might have noticed, to just see if there's anything that they would like to add at this time. The creation of a child. The happens literally just slightly before or at the moment of birth. That is when the soul enters. Until then, it is a body. And months before that, it is not even a survivable body. It is sad. There's a very sad energy about the fact that women who have this incredible power to procreate are viewed as being not, never mind above, but even equal to men. That attitude in this Aquarian energy that's moving in is not survivable. And so that is going to get shifted. It is going to get changed. And when it does, it is going to be put into law so that it doesn't get shifted and changed. There will be adjustments or changes made to the United States Supreme Court. And as these fights ascend their way up through the legal system to the highest court in the land, the highest court in the land is going to have a very different makeup than it does right now. The energy, literally, of SCOTUS is not sustainable as it is. And so there will be shifts and adjustments. People will leave. New people will come in. It is so necessary that the Supreme Court Always be mindful of the people. Always be mindful of the shifts and changes over time, over perceptions. And the Supreme Court has failed in that task. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard for maybe another 18 to 24 months. But with the energy of bringing that fairness, that balance, that bodily autonomy into being, once it is brought into being, it will be virtually unchangeable, enshrined. As it stands right now, it does not appear that Alabama is going to backpedal, but it is some of the uproar is going to cause pause in states that are north and leaning purple. Those ones you can see where they're not going to jump on this. So it is important as time unfolds and time moves forward that there's clarity about the purpose and the drive behind creating an environment where we're birthing life is viewed as both a wonder of science and a feminine miracle. That time will come, and it will never be taken for granted again. That's what I know about that. All right. That's what I know. Questions, please put questions in the comment section below. And thank you very, very much for being here. Until next time, take care and be well.